Welcome to another installment of Fail Forward Friday. I am Malesela Molepo, and before I even go anywhere, I have a special guest, guys. A special guest.
Okay.
You want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Roche Mamabolo. I become the special guest today. Thank you so much. I feel so honored.
Listen, there's a reason I'm saying that. But before we go any further, remember, guys, to like, subscribe, comment. Whilst we're speaking, we actually are live at the moment with TikTok. All the TikTokers, please comment on as we go on, because it'll be interesting to hear what you guys say. But yeah, Doc, the reason I said you're a special guest is that we've had stories in the past. We've had the newsroom story or the radio station story. But today we're going to get the full force of blunders that you have created in your entrepreneurial journey.
You have time.
I have time. It depends what time is time, but yes, we have time, Doc.
So thank you so much. I think this is crazy because I was reminded of another blunder by my mother earlier. I forgot about it. There are so many of these things. I'm like, oh my word, there are so many.
Yeah.
If it was not a blunder, she was reminding me of another business that I went to.
Wait, before we get there, the ones I'm going to tell you the ones I know.
Okay.
Again, it's the radio station. It is the one that you almost went into, which was the CTM. It was accounting. That was one of them. But this one, the accounting, no one knows about. So I'm guessing that's one of the things you'll be sharing.
So I mean, the accounting it's a blunder talk by itself.
Yes, because it's a huge.
But I think I will talk about it as well. But I think, this whole entrepreneurship bug hit me when I was in high school, right?
Okay.
So my parents were working, but they had side hustles, right, to augment. But and so when I got to back then, I think you guys called it grade 8 now. Still at 6. Form 1, Form 2. So I was. When you're in Form 1, Form 2, you basically do maths and science and accounting and business, right? So I was good at both. And
what's that?
Maths and science and business
and
economics
accounting.
And accounting.
Oh, okay. All right,
so we were doing all of them.
Okay.
I think we were doing like 8 subjects. That's how crazy it was back then.
How all of us must did that.
Yeah. But as you obviously you choose.
Yes, in grade 10.
Yeah, but to think that we used to do 8, and you had to pass all of them. That's so weird. But anyway, then my mom said, I was listening on the radio, there's this qualification called chartered accountancy. I didn't know about it.
Yeah.
And I was at a point where I needed to decide what I want to do.
Yes.
And she saw my marks, and I was good at accounting.
Yeah.
So she was like, maybe consider it. I looked at it, did something. There wasn't a lot of information available, because I think at the time, there were very few black CAs.
Yes.
So I said, okay, fine, I'll try it. Then when I got to grade, I don't know whether it's 9 or 10, well, I had to choose. And then I chose to do the commerce stream, because now I was clear, I want to do this CA thing. Right?
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where, because of unrest at the time, my parents decided, no, you're going to put in school. So they took me
When
out.
is this, 19?
No, man, don't be like that.
Okay, 18?
No, 93 to before 94.
Oh, all right.
Because even then, the rights were still there, right? But when I went to high school, it was in the early 90s, but it was still, school was not proper.
Yeah.
Like, courses was still...
Okay.
So we'd be in class, and then the next thing, hey, guys, school out, we are going striking.
Hey, you lived it, Mus.
Yeah. So I know the smell of tear gas.
Yeah.
Not that I was involved, but there would be riots outside, and you're walking home or whatever.
Yes.
So then I went to boarding school, And it so happens that this is a boarding school with all these rich kids and parents are running family businesses. And that's when I got a taste of entrepreneurship. Like, it was so amazing. I was like so blown away.
Yeah.
I was more blown away by the lifestyle
Then the actual
than the studies and, you know, like, it was such an amazing exposure to me to see black excellence, you know. I know people are like, yeah, excellence is excellence, whatever. But back then, you know, to see.
Oh, so it was black school.
Yeah, it was a black school.
Okay.
Well, there were some white students, but not a lot.
Oh, okay.
Predominantly Prestige. Prestige was a black
okay.
Model C school. So then, and these kids coming from family businesses, right? I remember, I mean, typically school holidays, if you're in high school holidays means waking up late because you don't have class. So you relax, you know, you take it easy, you know. So I remember in one of the school holidays, I said to my friend, hey man, you know, I want to come visit you, you know, I'm going to be bored at home, so can I come and visit you? No problem. But you must know that you're going to work, right? Like, we're going to work. So I never used to understand. So here's the thing. I never used to understand why this guy never wanted to go home. I mean, he comes from this well-off family, right? He's got his own car at home, right?
He's a high schooler.
High schooler. He's got his own car at home. So I never, and he's like, when there's like weekend away, so there'll be what we call weekends away, where we all have to go home.
Yes.
He never used to look forward to weekends away. And at the end of the weekend away, on a Sunday when we are now coming back, he's so glad he's back. So I'm like, why? I don't understand. It's like, hey man, I work at home. I don't like going back home. So this school holidays, I said to him, no, I want to, and we went.
It was a promise. Yeah.
Bali, you wake up at 5:30 in the morning. I don't know. On a school holiday. I'm like, that's crazy. Why? I don't know. Remember, they have shops, So the delivery guys, milk and bread. Those are the first deliveries at that time, right? Because they prepare these products, the milk and the bread elsewhere. In the morning, elsewhere. And then they have to come deliver it. Yeah, and it's fresh milk at the time. There wasn't one of these carton ones. It's fresh milk, it's fresh bread, whatever. Yes. So when they deliver, the guys need to find you there. Because if they don't find you, they leave those things. Yeah, at the outside. They leave outside and people can steal. Right? Okay. So which meant that by the time they get there, because we need to be waiting for them. Oh. Which meant that we need to be on site by 6 o'clock. Past 5, 6 o'clock, right? And then that's a culture shock to me, right? It's a culture, like completely culture shock. And then we open, so obviously we pack the stuff in, we get it in, we sign whatever, we get it in. But we still have to prepare the shop, do stock take of what are the things that needs to be bought during the day. Yeah. And then when we open, we go and we buy those things. Yeah. I mean, when I say buy, I don't mean we transact and somebody packs it. We pack it. Like I was in this blue overall. Yeah. Boo, people's meal. I'm like, no. A whole shift. Yeah. From 5, 6 weeks. Well, they open at 8. Those shops back then, they open at 8. Yeah. So you open at 8 until 7 or so, 8 in the evening. Sure. That's a shift. Sure. Every day. Oh. Every day. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. School does feel like holiday now. Yeah. So if you do that. It then made sense. Yeah. Right? But it was for me, it was such a... the car is there. It's nice, cool, but it's there for work. It's for work. You know? And I think for me, that was an introduction. For me, it was an introduction to entrepreneurship. And I think that's where my work ethic came, developed, right? During that time, to say, you have to work hard. You need to have high work ethic. And this guy, then you translate that work ethic into your studies as well, right? Where we push, we'll have study at boarding school from 6 until 10.
Yeah.
After 10, it slides out. We'll be sitting in our room, study lamp.
Yeah.
We take an ironing board, you put it like this, you study until 12 midnight. So that work ethic from business translated into studies.
Yeah.
So by the time I finished matric, I went to varsity, the work ethic was already there. Because I understood this is what I want to do with my life. And if I want to be in business, the work ethic has to be strong because this is how these guys, you make good money, you have a good living, but you work. You work, right? So the bug had already bitten me by then. So when I went to varsity, I had to go to varsity because I had a bursary with IDC.
Okay.
Right? So I had to. So most of the guys were like, no, we are going to start our own businesses full time. We'll study through UNISA.
Oh, after
matric.
Okay.
But because they come from family businesses, some of them
have that.
They understood. Right? Because
yes.
there's a business to run during the day as well. But if you want to study, you have to study.
Yes.
You can study through correspondence.
Yes.
Right?
And they can't afford to just go to varsity and come back eventually. It's not going to wait for them.
It's not. My parents didn't have that nonsense. They were like, you're going to university.
Yes.
Right? So I went, I studied, I finished, I started working. Fast forward.
What did you study?
Become accounts.
Okay.
I mean, it was obvious, right?
Yeah.
Become accounts, CTA.
Yeah.
And then finished, wrote the board, flunked, whatever.
Yeah.
And then decided, no, this is...
You see that degree, dog? That degree
Did
is
my
real.
articles. When I finished, I was doing my thing. When I finished my articles, I'm like, I'm out. When I said, I'm like, I'm gone. But the beauty about the degree is it's quite empowering. You understand business.
It is.
You understand business, and also with articles.
Yeah.
Also, it helped, right?
Yeah.
So, but even then, I was hustling side hustles as well because the bug, when it hits you, you can't settle for 8 to 5.
Yes.
Right. So I started doing side businesses.
Yes.
Right. So when I finished my articles, because you don't get paid enough with articles.
You're slaves there. Especially if you're auditing.
Yes. I was doing auditing. I was doing inside public practice. So then I left. I worked for Deloitte. Then I started doing a side hustle.
Yes.
Right. Then I started. I was restless. So here's the thing. I knew the goal was when I finished my articles, I want to go into business. Right?
Yeah.
But when you finish your articles, you're in so much debt because you were not paid enough.
Already.
No, you were not paid enough.
Yeah.
When you were articles. So most of the things you would just get by. Clothing accounts and whatever.
I get you. And accounts were a big thing back then.
A big thing then. So I was like, let me work a bit, pay off all these things, and then. But I knew that I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
I knew that I wanted to leave. Then I started. Then there was an opportunity. So I went into the classifieds. There was still printed newspaper where there's classifieds, and then there was vending machines. So I was looking for a business that's not too capital intensive.
Yeah.
That I can afford to save up for 3-4 months.
Yeah.
And then I'll buy something, and then it will start generating vending machines. Right, I think that time it was like 12,000 one machine. I'm like, okay.
Without the food, obviously.
Yeah,
without the things
the
inside.
stock. Without the stock. Then I was like vending machines. I started with vending machines, and it's a passive income. Like you pack whatever. I go to work. Maybe after 2 days I come, I check. So I was looking for those type of businesses. Then I got 2 vending machines, somewhere in Josie. Then
you were living in Joburg at the time?
I was living in Centurion.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was easy to commute. Then vending machines, 2 vending machines. I was excited. I remember I bought cold drinks, went to Macro, bought cold drinks, and I started packing.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing because you need to understand how to operate the machine, service the machine yourself, clean it out, and all those kind of things. Then I remember the first time I was excited. I put it in, first week, second week, I go there. Then there's this, because it was coin operated. It was not notes. It was coin. There's and you get this.
Bulk money.
Take it out. And
and you have to get the plastic bag.
And then put it in, go, and then you count. You do a stock take. You look at how much stock. I think I ran that business for 6 months. I was bored.
Why?
No.
But it was good passive, dog.
I was not seeing that passive as well.
I mean, how much were you making after every?
So, the profits you'd make about 2,000, 2.5 in a month.
Dog, that's not bad.
Nah.
It's paying for itself eventually after a month.
True.
Yeah.
No, true. But the work.
Okay.
Versus the return. I'm like,
okay, I get you.
It's a good business for my daughter. I would definitely get that business for my daughter.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Because for her, 2,000 is a lot.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the effort that goes in, she doesn't know better.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So it's a good training ground for business. Right? I got bored. It was exciting for a while. It's a novelty. It was exciting for a while. I was like, then sold the machines.
Yeah.
Right? But it's a good business if you are starting up, because it's a retail business.
Yeah.
You buy, add margins.
Yeah.
Put it in there. Location is critical.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you want where there's a lot of traffic.
How do you even get a location? You pay rent.
Yeah.
Put it in
so
there.
it depends. So I was fortunate the ones that I bought had location already.
So you bought it from someone else.
I bought it from someone else.
Okay, I get you.
And they had location already. And I was also fortunate that where the location was, they didn't want rent. They just wanted them to work. Because
it's convenience for them.
It's convenience for the customers.
Yes.
Because they were having a lot of customers. So and I think those are the type of locations that you want. Office is good. But if you are at a place like Midas, for instance, or where there's a lot of customers coming,
I get you.
Right?
And maybe once in a while, not once in a while, they always want something to drink, but Midas doesn't give them that.
Yes.
Funny enough, I actually remember Midas, and it was Midas. What is the other hardware store that was big? They always used to have vending machines.
Yeah.
Before now, I think they stopped for themselves.
Yes.
But
Builder's Warehouse, Cash Build, and all those kinds of
Cash Build,
yes. So if you have that type of a location, proper, because they
AutoZone is what I was
AutoZone,
thinking.
because they want their customers to have refreshments, because they themselves don't want to offer them refreshments, because they're not in the business of doing that, right?
That's clever.
So for me, those are the type of locations that I got, and you start to appreciate location, right? Location is key. So if you have a vending machine, you want to get into that space, location is critical. So you want that type of spaces. So I got bored, I moved out. Then I kept on searching, because I'm like, no, there has to be something else. Then back at home.
So you sold it to someone else?
Yeah, I sold it to someone else.
Okay.
Then back at home, there was this whole deregulation of combis. There were the small cars that were...
Yes, ranking around, locals.
Yes. Remember, I was looking for passive income.
Yeah.
Then I looked at the numbers. I'm like, I can buy a small jorky here.
Yes.
And get it to someone. So I bought 2 jorkies.
Yeah.
I gave it to some.
Tuck.
No, not the tuck. The small, I had a Ford Laser.
Okay.
I can't remember what the other one was, but 2 cars.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm already thinking of all the bad things that could happen.
So, firstly, drivers are a huge nightmare.
Which is probably number one.
Yeah.
Really.
That's number one.
Yeah.
Drivers, the fact that security, where is this car going to stay?
Because they sleep with it.
Yeah, because if...
So it didn't come and park it at your place and then go back the next day?
Okay, so that was the arrangement.
Okay.
Right? So the arrangement is you pick it up in the morning, you work, and you come drop it off in the evening.
Yes.
But the problem with that is they come crazy morning, these boys.
Yeah.
They will wake up my mom at 4:30 in the morning, because they want to catch the morning traffic.
Yeah.
Right?
Which is funny enough, dog, you say that. My dad also we had a venture that was ranking.
Yes.
And every
we also
morning,
had one at home.
Yeah, so every morning at 4:45, the bus driver, Malum Sapi is his name. Sleeping Beauty. We used to call him Sleeping Beauty. He comes in 10 to 5. We're already picking him up. Coming in, he drops us off, and he goes off. And that was tough.
Yeah.
But continue.
So the boys would come very early in the morning, scream at the gate for my mom. My mom used to wake up, open for them. I was thinking it's insurance at the time.
Yes.
Open for them. Sometimes they don't bring the car on time. Sometimes they don't bring the car, and then you start to panic.
Yes.
Sometimes there's issues with checking the money that you need to bring in.
Because they're gonna check, obviously.
Yeah, right. And I think with them it was it weekly checkings? I can't remember. But the money that was coming in,
it didn't make sense.
The car was always broken, brick pads, this, shocks, this. And so you end up spending more than they are bringing.
Yep.
Right? And sometimes they don't bring the car back. Sometimes you don't see your car for 3 days. You don't even know where the car is.
And did you buy these cars brand new or used?
No, it's used.
Okay.
There's no way I can buy
this. Just say, you never know.
No, so it was stressful for my mom.
Yeah,
I had to let them go.
The cars or the people?
The cars.
Okay.
I think I got like 4 or 5 guys. Fire this one, you get a new one. They behave for the first month. Second month, 2 colors come out. It's a back to square one. You fire that, you bring someone else. They behave for a few weeks. It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So, I might as well jump to Uber, because then I moved from that, I went to Uber.
Wow.
Then I had Uber cars, right? A Corolla, Almera.
Wait, when was this? When did Uber come to South Africa?
2017.
Okay.
2017.
And you're still working at the time?
18. No, I had left by then.
Okay.
Yeah,
so when did you take the jump from going into, when did you go into full-time business?
So obviously the small cars didn't work out.
Yeah.
Then there was an opportunity to have a butchery next to the BP garage at home. I'm like, again. Right?
Wait, BP garage, the one close to on Solomon?
No, not that one.
Okay.
The one close to ShopRite.
Yes. Okay.
There's a block of buildings there.
Yes, I know that. Yeah,
there.
That one.
My butchery was there when that building was still fairly new.
Yes.
Opened there. I think somebody ran that butchery before, and I don't know what happened. And then they decided, no, they are letting it go. And then I came in and I bought the equipment.
Yeah.
And it was a cool fridge and your weigh machine and your display, the display fridges.
Sure.
Where you pack your meat.
Meat, yeah.
And then there's a chainsaw, the one that you
at the back
machine.
End.
Yeah, those. Yeah. That, and then there's a scale where you put the meat on, and then there's a cash with a number, and then there's a cash register. So I bought that. Then I started to operate. So then I had to buy meat from. There's a place in Silverton called 8 Cake.
Yes, 8 Cake. Yes.
So I would buy meat there.
So what would you buy it in bulk?
In bulk. So sometimes I would buy like a side, and then put it in there, and then get a guy. I didn't know how to do that machine.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to lose my finger, so I needed to get someone. So get a guy to come and cut the meat, and then we sell. Now the problem there was obviously because that building, we were using one grade, one connection. So if 1 or 2 people didn't pay, and they come and they switch off for everybody. And then I had perishable goods.
Yes, right? That hits you most.
And it hits me the most. But also, at the time, I didn't understand that one of the ways to get your butchery to be popular or up and going is if you have a Chisanyama.
Yes.
And those days before the Chisanyama was
yes.
And a lot of people were not really
doing it for home. Home, you go to supermarket, normal supermarket, and buy there.
So the business was very slow. I remember I had my mom there. At some point. I couldn't be there, so I asked her to go there. This guy comes and buy. And I think came with $100. Bought meat for 40 something.
Yeah.
And then my mom gave him change.
Yeah.
So I go there because now we are supposed to check stores. I go there, she's depressed. I'm like, what's wrong? She shows me the money. It was fake. It was fake money. She gave them meat and she gave them money as well.
At least it was 40 something rand.
Yeah.
So that's 80 rand gone.
Yeah, but the business was also slow. There was issues with the landlord. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah. So did you sell the equipment again? How long were you in that one for?
It was less than a year.
Okay. And that time you're still working?
I was still working.
Okay.
Now, I'm getting to a point where I need to leave this thing. Because now, I feel like I need this part-time side hustle is not working. I need to do this full-time.
Yeah.
Then, okay, I left. No, before that, then came the CTM story.
Yes.
Because CTM was supposed to be my... No. In fact, before CTM, I did my MBA. So the MBA was a precursor to me leaving.
Yes.
So it was like, it's an introduction
to what business is.
What business is, so that when I finish my MBA, then I leave.
Yeah.
This is
2009 or
2018.
Is it?
No. 2009, so you are right.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that.
2009, financial crisis, 2008
Yes.
financial crisis.
Yes.
So I finished my MBA 2008.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right? And then... because now I had no excuse. I used my MBA as an excuse.
Yes.
So when I finished my MBA, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I'm done with my MBA.
Yeah.
Now I need to leave. I don't have plans. Then there was an opportunity for CTM. I went for that. I applied.
Yes.
But remember now, I'm fresh from business school.
Yes.
So this business language is, I'm killing it.
Yeah.
Killing it. Right? And I'm energetic. Like, I know this thing. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, then there's this opportunity. I saw it on the newspaper. I apply. I go all the way.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I go all the way. The guy says, Mr. Ravazotti says to me, "What did you do to my people?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" It's like, everyone likes you.
Yeah.
Like,
charismatic,
all my people. MBA now. MBA.
The lingo you've got it.
The lingo franca I have.
Yeah.
But also I was passionate about business anyway.
Sure.
Know? So I charmed these people. So when they asked me questions, for me it was like an MBA paper, exam, test, whatever.
It's fresh out the box.
Mint out of the box, still smelling
Yeah.
new. So I got a pencil.
Yeah.
I penciled them, right? I was like, I'm in. So then he says to me, here's the contract. But I have this feeling that this is not for you. I'm like, what is this?
After all the
I
work
want to
I've
leave
done.
Deloitte.
Hey.
This guy doesn't understand. I want to leave Deloitte.
And
This
you did
has to
auditing
be
at the time, Doc?
I was doing tax.
Oh, okay.
I was doing tax. I'm like, I want to leave. Not that there's anything wrong with Deloitte. It's one of the best companies to work for. But the entrepreneurship in me said, I'm suffering.
You need to,
It was so bad. I mean, I was even having panic attacks when I was at work. Because for me, I checked out completely. So anyway, he says, no, I see, everybody's charmed. I see your case. I see your budgets. I see your business plan proper. But I don't think this is for you. I'm like, hey, this guy is crazy. He says, no.
He doesn't know how to leave.
Yeah, he says, no, go work at CTM. We're coming from Pretoria. Yes, the biggest one is in Menlyn. Go work there for a weekend. And then if this is what you still feel this is what you want, come back and
we'll organize
let's
everything.
sign. And then I can resign from Deloitte, serve my notice period, and get into training, blah, blah, blah. So there's a whole program that they had. Like, more like a Black Economic Empowerment type of a program. So I go, I work for the weekend. I meet this other guy. He's already part of the program. He's there early. I knew day one, day two, I knew this is not for me. I knew. And I remember I was also working on Sunday, but Sunday you close early. I think you close around 12:01.
Yeah.
And so I was with these guys and we were leaving, and I think I was going with them or something, I can't remember. And then this guy was excited, man. He was in it. He had already started. I think he was almost towards the end. I was left with like 3 or 4 months towards the end.
Yes, before he can get his own.
Before they can then assign his store.
So, yeah.
And he was excited. He was like, and I think for me, that's what was the painful part, because I didn't feel this.
Yeah.
Right? And I looked at this like, internally there's a conflict.
Yeah.
There's
Because
a
you want to
conflict.
leave.
Because I want to leave,
yeah.
but this is not it.
Yeah.
And here's this guy, and this guy is happy.
really enjoying
He's
it.
And I'm asking myself, what's wrong with me? Why can't I be like this guy? You know, I'm conflicted. I'm happy for him.
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm conflicted. This is not what I want to do.
Yes.
And there's no way I'm going to fall in love with this. This is not me.
Yeah.
That guy was right. This is not for me. You know, and...
Here's my question, Doc. Do you think if that guy did not say that, you would have had a CTM by now? So even then, you probably would have gone in, training, and then you'd be like, you know what, guys, I think I made a mistake. Because chances are he wouldn't have told you go train. Go for 3 weeks, for 3 days. Or did everyone have to go through that?
No.
Okay.
I think it was a special thing for me because he could see that there's this disconnect.
Yes.
And I think what he did, he looked at my experience and my background, and he looked at what the practicality of running this business. And for him, he was like,
it's too,
right?
But whenever you're an introvert, I'm sure
it's even worse.
Yeah,
because I had to greet people. I had to greet people. Oh Lord, what? Smile. I'm like, no, this is not gonna work.
Yeah, I can imagine.
You know, you're standing the whole day. Retail is hard. Retail is hard.
Yeah. Especially as an introvert.
Is hard.
You must really want to.
You are standing long hours, dealing with people and their mood swings, and it's hard.
Yeah.
Retail is very hard.
And the mood swings.
So I knew, day 2, I knew this is not for me.
Yeah.
And I think with the vending machines, I knew after a while now.
Yeah.
With the cars,
yes,
Uber cars, small business, I knew.
Yeah.
So I would walk away.
Yeah.
And I think the CTM thing was more painful because I was so invested in it, and I was so ready. I wanted to leave.
Yes, you were so desperate to leave.
I was so desperate to leave, and I was like, And then there was this position called UJ. They were looking for a junior tax lecturer. I went. I mean, I had my higher diploma in tax.
Yes.
I was working at Deloitte. I was doing tax work.
Yes.
I went to UJ for the interview for a junior tax lecturer. I got the position. I looked at the salary. I'm like, I walked away
from the tax lecturing. Yeah.
Because this is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
Right. So I left. Then the natural thing to do was let me go into what I know best, which is accounting.
Yes.
Then I went into accounting. Then because CTM failed.
Yes.
And I needed to leave.
Yes.
And I said, let me start with what I know. And then
did you start outside? Did you resign and then start accounting?
No.
Or so you did as a side, basically?
Yeah, I started as a side hustle. So what I then did is I started looking for clients on the side. One by one, I would find them, and I would do pay slips. I would do monthly management accounts for them. The money was not good because these are small businesses, right? So, and it's a garage purchase. This bookkeeping thing, it's a garage purchase. It's not something that they look at it and they say this brings money.
Yeah.
So I then started doing that, and then I had a friend who was working for a bank.
Yeah.
And he was helping small business. And I spoke to Tab. I said to Tab, Mr. T, this is what I want to do. And he says, no problem. What I'll do is I'll refer, because I deal with most of these business guys.
Yes.
If they need a loan or something, they need financials.
Yes.
And then most of them don't have.
Yes.
Then I'll refer them to. Within a month, I think I had like 20 clients.
Oh.
Within a month. I'm like, yay, I have to leave.
Yes.
And this is all part-time, mind you.
Yes.
Then I left 2009.
Yeah.
I left. 2008, I left. Deloitte's countered. I went back.
But you never take the counter, dog.
Yeah, they said, I didn't know. I mean, they show you numbers like, numbers. I'm staying. Then after 6 months, I was like, no.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it. I left. And then I started the practice full-time. Worked long hours. I remember I was sleeping at my couch in St. Children. I wake up the following morning when I was officially unemployed. I'm like, there's no 25th. DT, SMS, nothing. Then anyway, ran the practice, did the books. I was not making lots of money like I was at Deloitte, but I was breaking even.
Yes.
So I could pay for the bond, I could pay for the car.
Yes.
I'd have some bit of petrol money.
Yeah.
But I could not, my lifestyle,
Yeah, it dropped a bit.
Yeah, but I mean, I was happier.
At least you were, exactly, because you're now in your own now. It's an experience, yeah.
I was happier. Then some guys called me. I was doing books for some of the schools as well. One of the guys at the school called me. It's like, hey, come on, comrade, I get this guy. All right, there's a tender, Mpumalanga, let's go. Plus, we need your skills. I get up, comrade,
Hey.
We go there. I want to skill my comrade. Skills I want to kick
salespeople.
Yeah. Technical, doing the work.
Nice.
Dololo.
And they've got the tender.
We put some joie. We put some. We can joie study skill. Anyway, so they got. Crazy. We got this tender. We want you. We need you because we know you can deliver the work. I do the work. It was a year. Politicians. Yeah. Smooth talkers. No, don't worry, comrade. It's a 12-month contract. We'll renew. After that, we trust you. You will deliver, and we'll renew again. Blah blah. They sell you all these things.
Yeah.
I go in. Good money.
Yeah.
I've never seen that money before.
Yeah.
I know I'm going.
Yeah.
I get in. Take some of my guys. We go to Nelspruit. We do some work.
So
there.
at the time when you were with those, you had employees, ne?
Yes, I had 2 guys that I was working.
Okay,
that were working with
sure,
me. Yeah,
sure, okay.
But because of this project, I needed to get extra 2 guys as well. So we go set up Mpumalanga, Nelspruit. We do some work. I mean, that's where I fell in love with Nelspruit.
Yeah.
So we do work, come back, weekends, on and off, and then first payment comes on you sign the deal.
Yeah.
First payment.
Oh,
like a sign-on fee. Yeah. Sign-on fee. We know you guys need to set up. You need to get in.
Yes.
Boom, comes in. Second payment during the project.
The
last
at
payment
the end. Yeah.
after you've delivered the final report. We go first payment. Hey, record laptop. We set up. We work. Second payment comes in. Problem last payment. For the payment to come, it's November.
Yes.
I remember saying to the guys, we need to submit the invoice before November.
Yes. By the way, your other people are not there anymore.
No, my small clients, they're gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, you guys are paying me peanuts. But obviously, I don't tell them that. But I just leave, like, so much work for so little money. Yeah. There has to be a return on investment.
Yeah.
So I left them.
Yeah.
I left them because there's this big project, and this big project is paying big money.
Here's my question, Doc. Did you not think maybe to still have the small clients with paying someone to do the small clients whilst you, or when you were just like, it's wasting my time?
The thing with money, Malesela, is, and I was still young. You see, I'm like millions. I'm like, I've got.
So what's 5,000 to a million?
Yeah. To come and service the small guys. I called. No, I'm gone. Guys. So, what you are saying? What is crazy? So what you are saying?
Yeah.
I called. There was no time to think that. These guys, they are chowing my hands. They're not paying me enough. They're complaining when they have to pay me. Blah, blah. I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
Out. Then we did this project. Last payment takes 6 months to pay.
From November?
From November, they're writing exams. November, they're writing exams. We submitted the invoice in October. November, they're writing the exams. They're not there. December,
January,
they're gone.
People are not.
January, they're gone.
Go slow.
February, we go. They say to us, no.
Financial year end.
But we have exhausted the budget.
The
project. Joang.
Did you not have a budget for a reason? That's supposed to pay?
Because you would assume the project that we were doing, the budget for it is ring-fenced.
Yeah.
So it's November, December, January, February. Right? So February we go, there's no budget. We have to wait for the Minister of Finance.
Yes.
Trevor Manuel, it was Trevor Manuel at the time,
yeah.
to issue the budget. he issues the budget towards the end of Feb.
Yes.
Right? We go, they said, no, remember this is a provincial project. So we're waiting for the MEC of Economic Affairs to do budget vote. When is he doing budget vote? March.
Yeah.
Right? March comes, he has done the vote allocation. No, comrade, your tax clearance is expired. Remember? Then I have to get my tax 6 months. By that time,
tax clearance.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean at the time?
At the time I get my tax clearance, it's the 6
6
month. The payment comes on the 6th month. My stuff is gone. They left with my laptop because I couldn't pay salaries.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was expecting
Are
payment.
you still in Mpumalanga at the time?
Yeah, no, we are back. We are back.
In Pretoria?
Yeah. And I remember because when the payment came in, it went once into my account, it was gone.
Yeah, because you had to pay all the people.
Because I have to pay everybody.
Yeah.
And left with nothing. The contract is not renewed because the people who promised you, they are now somewhere in other departments or government departments or wherever. They're no longer there.
So the tap is closed.
The tap is closed. Now, I'm sitting there. I don't have my small clients.
Yes.
They have moved on. This is 12 months later.
Yes.
They've
They're not
moved
gonna
on.
wait for you.
They're not going to wait for me. They have other accountants that, and I can't go back to them anyway.
Yeah.
But I also don't have this project. So technically, I am bankrupt. Right? Because there's no source of income. Where am I going to get? There's nothing. I'm blacklisted on here.
Yeah.
So it's terrible. I went into depression for almost 3-4 months. I locked myself in my place.
Yeah.
Locked myself. You're not excited by anything.
You remind that story specifically. You remind me of another. I don't know what I was listening to, Doc, or if I spoke to even you, but of how putting your eggs, the classic putting your eggs in one basket business.
Yeah.
Where a business goes in, they start off with a big client, and that big client, they serve 70% of what they do is servicing that big client. And what ends up is they've got all the leverage.
Yeah.
And they could do anything. You could even still be a client, but they'll undercut you because, no, we think that it should be. Because now you're desperate now. Because 70%, the other ones can't pay salaries that those guys pay.
Biggest red flag. Biggest red flag. I'll never do that again.
Yeah.
I think it was a bitter lesson for me. And so, but when I reflect on this thing, I then realize that that's what a lot of entrepreneurs, the mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs do. They want big clients because it looks good on our profile.
Yes.
I'm doing books for this big client. I'm doing this for this. I'm doing this project for this big client. But I'm convinced that small businesses are not structured to do business with big businesses. I'm convinced. Because these are two different machines.
Yes.
The big corporate clients, their machines take long to turn.
Yeah.
And as a small business, you can't wait for a 60-day payment. Or if you miss
and
the
that's
50,
how the cash flow for them is nothing.
Yeah.
The engine runs like that.
Yes, that's how
3 months.
That's how the engine runs. And in order for them to change things for you, you're a small fish. You're a sardines to them.
Yeah.
So for them to change this big thing for you, right. So it's a structural thing anyway.
Yeah.
But I didn't know. I didn't know. I mean, these guys would skip payment 6 months. It's business as normal for them.
Yeah.
For me, it's bankruptcy.
I
believe that 1 month, as a small business, 1 month of not being paid for 1 month, you're out.
Yeah.
Right? But I learned this the hard way. But I think then I've learned that you don't obsess about the big. So the small clients could have kept me in business.
Yes.
The small clients will not make me a millionaire.
Yes.
They won't take me to Dubai or wherever.
But
they'll pay. They'll pay for petrol money.
Yes.
They'll pay for rent. They'll pay for those small.
The 2 people that you hired.
The 2 people that I've had. They'll pay for those. They might not necessarily, make.
Actually, here's a question, Doc. So you had to hire 2 more people, right? With the 2 more people, was all hands on deck for that one client.
Yeah.
Was it the case?
Yeah.
You couldn't even still have like other small clients.
Small clients were out. They were a headache, those people.
Okay, so it was more a headache thing rather than a capacity thing.
Capacity was never even an issue. It was not, here's millions on the table.
Yes.
Here's this project. You need extra people. This is a dream come true.
Yeah.
To get this big client.
Yeah.
Right? It's a dream come true. And in fact, I got that client within a year of me starting this thing. These ones, they're a nuisance. They're a headache, these ones. So for me, I saw these small ones as a stepping stone to the big ones. What I didn't understand is these small ones are a foundation.
Yes, that's where everything falls from.
Exactly.
You still have them even when you grow because, I
actually bully them. I say, if I don't submit this services on your case, they'll pay me. You're not going to say that to a government department.
You know what you're saying now?
You're not going to say that to a government department. You're not going to say that.
I was listening to something today, in fact. I've actually, for the last few days, it's a big one of those 4-hour podcasts. And they had Steve Ballmer, the ex-CEO of Microsoft. Yeah. And he talks about Microsoft when they were still a small fish. And IBM was the big fish in the thing, you know. Obviously, Microsoft for a long time, until the 2000s, was not an enterprise company like we know it now. They were B2C, most of all, right? Home computers and stuff, And he says one of the big breakthroughs they had was with IBM when they created an operation system for IBM. But eventually IBM chucked them out. And it was one of those things to say that, in fact, if IBM hadn't chucked them out, Microsoft probably wouldn't be where it is now, right? But one of the things that he says in there is how when you play with the big boys, they bully you so much so that you have no leverage. In fact, when they left, they thought it was it for Microsoft. You know? And obviously they had to pivot from there. But in that same vein is what you're saying now is that if you play on the big boys and you're not geared to play with the big boys,
they're going to bully you.
Yeah.
You're paying. So let me give you a detour story. So I have this friend of mine. We were at boarding school together, Co-Prestige. He left. He started businesses after matric. Very good friend of mine. And he had a shop. So I remember one of the things, I was doing books for him at some point. And Kofos Loras, very good friend of mine. And he was running the shop. Everything was fine. I was doing his books. He was turning over, in a good month, 200K. He was doing very well. And then when I left the whole thing, I didn't see him for almost 5 years or so. I see him, and then I ask him, no. Before that, he calls me one of these days. He said, hey, man, I got a tender to supply meat and toilet paper to some government hospitals, Leratong, Krugersdorp, Charlotte McLean, Axopla was the other one. I'm like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Congratulations, right? I'm happy for him. So he calls me, say, in September. Following year, March, April, I call him, right? Hey, how's it going? He's complaining. Oh, what's happening? No, man, these guys, they owe me $500,000. So I'm like, why? What happened? He says, he's basically going to close the shop. So this is what happens. He's got, for almost 10, 15 years, he has built this credit profile and also a profile with his suppliers, Macro, Jumbo Cash and Carry. So he's managed to have a 30-day account with these guys. And they know him and he pays. He's a regular client. But also on the other side, he's got a good overdraft facility with the bank as well, right? Because he's built this over a period of time.
Yeah.
So this is how he runs his shop. He gets the overdraft from the bank if he needs, but he also has got a 30-day account payment.
Yes, it's actually 60 days.
60 days with his suppliers. So he gets this project from government. So government then says you need to supply, because meat, it's almost a perishable thing that you need to submit almost every, weekly or whatever.
Yes.
And toilet paper as well, right? So what then happens is he takes the 30-day account, he buys the stock, he takes it to government, to the hospital, right? The money does not come back. right? So he goes to another supplier. He takes 30-day account.
Eish.
He supplies the hospitals. The
Money does
not
come
come back.
Yeah.
He goes to the bank. He takes the overdraft facility.
Yes.
Buys stock.
Supplier. Yeah.
Right? Because now you can't take on credit because you owe this cash. You have to buy cash.
Yeah.
Right? Take the money, buys cash, take the stock to the government. The money does not come back.
So that's 3 months basically or worth of.
So he's stuck. He can't get stock.
Yeah.
For the shop.
Yeah.
Because the supplier he owes 30 days account. He can't go to this other supplier. He can't go to the bank because he has maxed his credit card overdraft facility. Right? So technically, right, he doesn't have money to buy stock. And there's no money coming in because the people who owe you, you go to them, they say, no. Parliament has issued a moratorium. We are only allowed to pay invoices that are 90 days. Because
out of the blue. Now, what about the old contract?
And what? So we've got something from government that says we only pay. Let's look at your invoice. Your invoice is what? 60 days? No. It's going to join the queue at the back. He closed the shop.
Something that he had opened
for over 20, 15 years.
He had built that.
Yeah. He closed it. Packed stuff, rented it out to Somalians. Right? So, and this is what happens. And not only him, Gauteng Shared Services, there used to be this government entity under the Gauteng province called Gauteng Shared Services. Nightmare. Payments of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
You almost have to, so tendering is almost you do it because you want to, not because you need to.
Yeah.
You even if they don't pay you for 6 months, you're still fine because the engine is still running where I'm doing.
But on the condition that you're not supplying these guys on a regular basis.
100%.
Because if you supply them on a regular basis, they're going to bankrupt you because they're going to pay you after whenever they decide to pay you.
Yes.
I mean, if you look, there's a schedule that was done, I don't know whether by the DA or something. They show which provinces or which cities, which metros, I can't remember. And they show which metros
take
the longest to pay their suppliers. And guess which ones?
Obviously, the ones here.
In Gauteng.
Because this is the money engine.
Yes.
And there's so many more people they have to pay.
Yeah. So what then happens is when he goes and he complains, to say, no, but you guys, why are you not paying me? They say, you know what? You black suppliers, you are a problem. This is a black person to you. You are a problem. There are other people. We asked you, do you have capacity? You said, yes, we've got capacity. Now, why are you complaining?
But what is capacity?
No.
How long is a piece of string?
No, but they don't care. You said you wanted. There are other people behind you who want this project.
They don't have capacity.
Well, they don't care. They're dealing with you. They're dealing with you at that particular point in time to say, stop complaining. Stop complaining. Because if you keep on complaining, it means you can't deliver. You black suppliers, we give you a chance. And this is how you behave.
Just because they think they got power.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what happened with me.
Would you then, in this sense, now I want to understand, and maybe from your opinion, Doc, do you think, and obviously this is taking a turn into government work with this is probably the lesson in the whole episode, but do you think government is not efficient in paying? Like they don't have this the processes in place to pay everyone in time, or do you think they're doing it on purpose? Like people are just eating. So when I say purpose, I'm not saying they're just sitting down and not doing anything.
I think it's a combination. It's a combination of culture, the work ethic in government, but it's also a combination of lack of morals, where people want to be paid to do their work.
So you almost have to take out money to get your own money.
Yeah. So they frustrate you on purpose, so that when you complain, then bless the brother before I can process your payment. It's a combination. Because even if they have morals, the work ethic is not there.
Because they're not working for profit.
No. And their salary is guaranteed.
Yeah.
And their salary is not dependent on how many transactions you have processed.
It will be actually interesting to put KPIs in place to say when someone gets especially in government.
Yeah. We'll all get paid within the first 2 days.
In fact, a lot of things will be working.
Yeah.
Just because you put the thing is not profitability actually that you need. They're not running for it's incentive.
Yeah.
Incentive is everything in this sense.
Yeah. It's a carrot thing. If you process it's a thing. It's a feedback loop. It's like, I came here with an Uber, right? Because my car obviously is in.
Your Lamborghini, yeah.
No, man. I'll get there, thanks.
Okay,
I receive it.
Okay, yeah.
You get, when a guy drops me off here, there's a rating that comes out immediately.
Yeah.
Right? Then I rate him immediately.
Yeah.
And depending on the type of service he gives me, the rating affects him immediately.
Yes.
Right? So if I give him a very bad rating, it affects him in terms of the next future or the next request that comes in.
Yeah.
Because then if the rating is bad, it bumps him off to the back of the queue.
Sure.
Right? But if the rating is good, it keeps him at the front of the queue for the next request. We don't have that for government.
Yes. Everything is guaranteed. You don't have to do the work.
No.
You can do the work tomorrow and you still be fine.
You can do the work whenever you want. Your salary is guaranteed. So they don't have that immediate feedback that we can give them, and it affects them directly, right? So because of that, then they're even, we're talking general terms.
But fair enough, you say that because the immediate, in commas, the immediate for government is that it happens after every 5 years.
Yes.
In the elections.
Yes. But
and
even
before the elections, they can do everything they said they want to do. And then it looks like these people are doing their jobs.
Yeah. But even then, it does not affect the officials directly.
Yes.
It will affect the politicians and whatever. And you would assume that whoever comes would have the message that there's a sense of agency that we need to have in this department.
Yes.
It doesn't.
But it doesn't.
It doesn't filter.
Because they are getting paid
5 years is a long time for
100%.
to fix. By that time, it's become a culture of non-performance.
Yes.
So even if you were to change these people and bring other people, to change these people back to what they need to do, it's going to take some time. And you need to be deliberate about it,
They say careers, you go retire in government.
Yeah.
Careers die
which
in government.
Which is unlike China.
I was about to say China is, and even the Scandinavian countries are quite.
Even Scandinavian countries.
Yeah, and hence we're talking about
Nordic countries as well.
Yes, Nordic countries as well. Those countries are all about. Actually, not even Scandinavia so much. It's more Nordic than anything. Yeah. Those are more principle-based.
Yes.
Asian countries are very principle-based as well, which helps them in that sense. But China more so than anything, because they hire the best of the best to be the best.
The best people work in government.
Yeah.
The best engineers are in government.
Yeah.
The best doctors, the best of anything, it's in the public sector.
Yeah. Okay.
So here, because we have adopted this American model, right, it's the other way. The best skills are in the private sector.
Yes.
Right? So and I think for me, that has been my blunder when it comes to the consultancy. But there's then being other businesses. Then we did the radio station, kids, nightmare, online radio, struggling to get advertisers.
Yes.
And then left that. And then, I'm now dabbling in property.
Sure. Property mogul.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not too slow for you.
It's capital intensive.
Yeah,
so
when you start,
cash flow, it's...
fixing things.
Fixing things, but also building, because I like, how about we do this? And I'm like, oh, no, it's doable. And then put up a budget and they build the structure. It's like, boom.
Yes. Yes.
But then I don't have money. Because you spend so much here, and then you receive it bit by bit over time.
Yes, and eventually pays for itself over time. Yes.
But if you take, because I'm learning this, that you don't take your working capital.
Yeah, you work with other people's money.
Yeah. Yes. You don't take your working capital that you're supposed to do every month, and you take this thing and you put it into a project. Right? I bent my fingers, but I'm still going back. I love it, right?
Yeah.
Of course, I'm running the Laura Center. I'm loving. That's my thing that I've been running for a very long time.
Yes.
Right? So what are the lessons in all this? So many lessons. One, I don't want to say I regret all these things.
Yeah,
I think for me, there have been learning curves.
Yes.
Learning through each and every venture. I think I have a sense of what makes business succeed.
Yes.
From
Yes.
location to understanding that you need a fair balance of big and small clients.
Yes.
To working with youngsters in a business, for instance. So I sort of have that appreciation of different elements of business.
Yeah.
Dealing with politicians or public sector, generally speaking. It takes time.
Sure.
And you need to, you're not going to fall into, unless if you are lucky. I thought I love accounting. I can do it. Right? It's the ikigai thing. I love it, but it's not what I want to. I'm good at it, but it's not what I want to do with the rest of my life.
Yes.
Seth Godin talks about don't follow your passion. Dabble within so many things until you find what you love.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because sometimes you say I'm passionate about accounting, but actually you don't love accounting.
Yeah. I thought about that. I thought I liked architecture because I was doing architecture at some point.
Yeah.
I realized I went and worked a year and a half in architecture. I was like, nonsense. I left. I didn't even have a job after that. I was coaching at the time, dog. I was just like,
you're like, I'm done.
I know. And the thing is, the other problem is it could have been the place I worked.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I don't even think it's the place I worked. I mean, I've always wanted, as you're saying, the bug of business had captured me already in high school as well, where I was selling stuff within school and everything. But one thing for sure is exactly that, Doc. You do things, and in doing things, you pick up something that you like here.
Yes.
Something that you like there.
Yes.
And what I was actually going to say now around the amazing thing about your journey is you've learned different aspects of business, perspective of business. And that's why it's easy for you to talk to people within different streams of business and see principles out of it.
Yes.
And that's the thing. You don't get that if you're only in one business the whole time. Because if you know tech and you only know tech, the problem is you're going to try get a tech spin of things instead of, no, listen, actually, the overarching principle, as Elon, what does Elon say? The first principles.
The law of first principles.
The law of first principles in what you're trying to do is that this, you buy and sell in retail.
Yeah.
And are you buying? Are you selling? Are you making profit? If you're not doing those three things, you can try to do all these bells and whistles. If you're not doing all of those three things, you're actually not running. You're not gonna last. Yeah. So that's the cool thing about having perspective across the board. CTM, all of these other places. Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and I think also, it's you. I think what I've learned is if it doesn't work, walk away.
Yes.
Walk away.
That's a hard one, Doc.
It is. It is, but I think for me, I listen to my gut feel, and my gut feel says, this is not it.
Yeah. What's the difference between walking away, or what would you say someone walking away looks like for a business that is, because how I think of it, right, is there's a business that is you walking away because it's failing. There's a business you walk away because it's not it. You're not gonna last there because you don't like it. There's a business you you shouldn't walk away because it's not that thing won't work. It's just that the timing is not there. And if you walk away, you're gonna miss the timing eventually when it gets there.
Yeah. So maybe let me answer it this way. I think one of the lessons that I've learned from the whole thing is, for me, this journey has been a journey of self-discovery. I needed to know who I am and what is the purpose of my life, right? So I've dabbled in so many things for me to know that, no, this is not it, no, this is not it, no, this is not it. And at some point I had to sit back and say, but what am I here for, right? And then I realized I'm here, what I'm more passionate about, what I can do until the end of my day is empowerment work. Right? But empowerment work comes in different shapes and forms. So it might be Laura, it might be this podcast, it might be writing a book, it might be mentoring entrepreneurs. This is what I like doing. So if Laura, it doesn't work for whatever reason, right? There is other avenues where I can empower people. It's a principle thing. But, I needed to listen to and people did tell me, no, this is not you. this nah. But I like no, but I can fall in love with this thing. You know, I'm
forcing.
Yeah, I'm forcing. But your gut instinct will always tell you, no, this is not it.
Yeah.
Right? But on the flip side, though, is I never thought property is my thing. I'm like, no, I don't think. Everybody's talking property. Da, da, da.
Yeah,
I'm 10 years late in this thing.
Yeah.
And I'm realized, actually, I love this thing.
Yes.
Right?
How long have you been in property for, though?
This is my 3rd year now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm still fairly new.
Yes.
But I'm loving it. And I'm actually buying other portfolios as well.
Okay.
So it's quite cool. But I don't think it's a passive income thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But on a day-to-day basis, what I love doing is working with people, developing people in business.
Yes.
And using my experience and my qualifications with my
Yes.
PhD, with my MBA.
Yes. Your
Also-
professorship soon enough.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, yes, also, thank you. Couple with my Lamborghini. Hey, these things are accumulating, man. So it's nice being here. Anyway, so it becomes, and I think over time, and Malcolm Gladwell talks about the 10,000 hour rule.
Yes.
That I think I've done my 10,000 hours. I mean, I've been doing this for almost 17, 18 years now. So I've done my 10,000 hour rules.
Yeah.
So I kind of have a sense.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we learn every day.
100%.
There's AI now.
Yes.
There was never AI.
It's a
before.
curveball that is
It's a curveball that's coming through. We are learning.
Yeah.
And I love this thing because I've opened myself up to learning.
Yes.
You know, I'm still registering. I'm going to register for my master's soon.
Yes.
You know,
Second masters.
Yeah. You know, because we are always learning.
Yeah.
And I think for me, that has been the journey. That's been the mindset that I've adopted. That I'm going to learn. If this doesn't work, I'm not married to ideas.
Yes.
I'm not married to, I'm so passionately in love with this thing. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be, no.
Yeah.
Yes, it's painful if it doesn't work.
Yes.
But I'm on. And then
you move forward.
And then Monday morning we get back to work for something else.
Yeah.
Right? But I then make that an experience
Doug, you know
that
what
I
it
carry
is?
with.
You know what I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
You're a hustler.
Yeah. Look, I mean, at the beginning, yes. I think I have.
Joking, you know?
No, but that's the mindset, right?
Yeah.
If this doesn't work, you move.
Yeah.
If this doesn't work, but I think for me, it's been over a long period.
Yes.
Right.
And you know what's not for you and what's for you. You're not just going to do something for the sake of getting money.
No.
I think maybe that's where the difference is between a hustler's mentality and someone that actually likes business. Is that a hustler just wants money almost. It's almost like you want money. You're doing something to do something, but for an entrepreneur that actually wants to make it, you're looking, and once you find, you establish.
Yeah.
You look, you find, you establish. Almost like these big organizations, right?
But also what Warren Buffett talks about, the circle of competence, right?
Yes.
I get to know what my space is and what's not my... If it's outside my circle, then, good luck, I'm happy for you, I can help you, I can mentor you, but I'm not going there. Because it doesn't talk to my circle of competence. But if it's got to do with people, business, let's talk.
Yes.
Right? But I think that it also helped me not to try and be jealous of other people's opportunities.
Yeah.
I'm very happy for them. If they found their niche, it was not, this is not me.
100%.
You know, it takes a certain level of being through this journey for you to then come full circle and say, I know I know what I'm meant to do on this earth, and I need to focus on that. Because I would like when I get to heaven one day.
Well done.
And and I'm at the gates, pearly gates, and God is interviewing me. If I could, I would say to God, can we please look at the criteria?
If I met it.
Yeah, and if we can change the criteria to say, how many people have I helped?
Yes.
To grow their business. If that's the criteria, let the interview continue. Let's start. because I'm definitely sure I'll pass that interview, right? For me, that's the thing.
100%.
Because I believe that's what I'm here to do.
Right?
But it took me some time. It took me vending machines.
Ish.
And it took me some
butcheries
and
fake money. I don't know. We're going to make a movie about that. We'll make a movie.
That's my story. Doc, there's still more, but I think...
I was about to say there is definitely more. I know there is more.
Yeah.
we will unpack it as time goes.
Yes,
in
definitely.
the next on the 50th show,
Yeah.
we promise we'll tell everyone even more stories as it unfolds for Doc's story, the life and journey of Dr. Roche Mamabolo. So
that's the pod.
Is that the pod?
That's the pod.
Actually, take us away, Doc. Actually.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please click like, subscribe, share it with everyone. Feel free to comment. What's been your experience? What's been your blunder failure? Can you relate to some of the stories that I've been sharing? Have you had struggles actually with some of the things that I've struggled with? Please comment on the comment section.
Yeah, reach out.
Reach out, and we promise we will read out the comments.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and from myself, Roche Mamabolo, and
Malesela Molepo.
till next time, guys.
Bye.
Awesome.